Hey everybody, it's Candy, aka Brown Eyed Girl 69. Well, I've been sitting here thinking, I've been watching some videos, of some new people that I just happened upon through other people that I'm sub to. Now, one of these people that I'm actually sub to, I'm not for sure exactly where I found him, what circle or what street of Booby Tubby land I found him on. But I think I subbed him because he was posting a lot of truth. But now that I've watched some of his things, I'm realizing that his beliefs and my beliefs aren't necessarily the same. I think it bothers me, religion does, because of the fact that I'm not into it anymore. Because I awakened. I feel like I've stepped above that. Not that I'm better than they are. It's just that I see from a different point of view. Um, I'm not going to sit here and say that there isn't a God, but I'm not going to believe in the God that they push off on us to make us believe that there's some God off in the sky somewhere. No, I don't believe that at all. I believe I am God as Candy, and that you are God as you, and that these fleshly bodies are temporary and physical. And it's all about the experience. It's all about the growing and learning and increasing in knowledge through experiences to give you the perspective that you have. I was raised, I wouldn't say religious, but I was raised in church. I had a church that my mother took me to from basically a baby on. It was the Baptist church, but now I know who was the founder of the Baptist church, and then I could go do some research on that guy and find that he probably wasn't that great of a guy as they made him out to be. I went through different denominations when I got older. As a teenager, my mother wasn't really into church anymore. I think she utilized it for social purposes and connections. Um, but as I got involved during my teens, she wasn't really involved in the church that much. And after a while, I got tired of going to the same church, so I just asked her if it was okay if I went to church with other people, other friends, other churches. And she didn't have a problem with it. So I was able to attend different denominations to kind of see what they taught about God. My first husband, he was an Episcopalian. They are the type that believe in, or they utilize Catholic rituals, but they're like Protestant in their belief system. In fact, a lot of smokers went to my first husband's church. They even had a smoke room in the church for the cigarette smokers. It's crazy, ain't it? But anyways, by the age of 27, after I'd been with Kelsey's dad for a while and basically got asked nicely to leave the church, because I was living with Kelsey's dad at the time and we weren't legally married, and we were both going to this church. They knew we were a couple, They knew we lived together, but we weren't married. And that's why they asked us to leave. After that happened to me, I never got back involved in another church again because I realized how hypocritical it was. Also, thoughts I've been having is everything happens in the mind. What you think will be created if you give enough energy to it. If it's just like a rando thought and you don't really think about it anymore or concentrate on that thought, then it's not going to come to fruition. But if it's something that you truly feel and believe in, like religion, those thoughts can be manifested. And because of the collective all thinking the same things, that's why things are happening the way they're happening and they're appearing the way they're appearing. Honestly, after I became awake in 2009 at the beginning of my journey on this specific path, basically deprogramming what I'd been indoctrinated to believe. I did probably about 3 to 4 years of really intense research and studying the Bible, Hebrew, Aramaic language, gematria. I had probably about 10 to 12 different Bibles on a app called eSword. And back then, when they first started the app, you could download up to 10 to 12 different Bibles, all for free. If they had it in their collection available for you. I had access to all sorts of dictionaries, cross-references, commentaries, concordance. I had it all. And I utilized it a lot for 3 to 4 years in my research and studies. And I would say it was probably about 2 to 3 years in that I discovered something and never realized it before, but a light bulb went off in my head, clicked, and I realized it already happened. It had already taken place. Everything that is prophesied in the Bible was prophesied for those people in Jesus' time. If Jesus truly existed and he prophesied certain things that was going to happen to them within their generation and would end with the destruction of the physical temple, it happened. It historically happened. So that's what makes me believe that there was a man that predicted these things. Or was it just all a story that they made up? And then tried to sell it to the current generations. But actually the rapture theory didn't come about until, I think it was more like the 1800s, somewhere in the 1800s, probably more like the late 1800s, maybe even early 1900s, by two different men. One was Scofield. Who was the other one? I can't remember, but Scofield was one of the main guys that pushed the rapture theory. But there never was going to be a literal rapture. It wasn't. Jesus was telling them that everything that was coming upon them was judgment because of all their fathers before them sins. Because they killed every prophet that was sent unto them from Abel all the way down to Zacharias. And Jesus was even telling the Pharisees, it's going to be your blood that's paying for all this. You know? Because y'all are murderers, liars, thieves. Y'all are only concerned with what's on the outside of yourself. Your dead man's bones on the inside. And you're going to have to pay. They didn't like that. They wanted him to be their king. They wanted him to go up against Rome. And he said, no way. I'm not going up against them. And I'm not going to bow down to them either. And that's why they had him crucified. Because crucifixion was something that the Romans liked to do. It wasn't really something that the Jews did. It was Roman soldiers that did these things to Jesus. It wasn't Jewish people. But the Pharisees, the head high priests over the Pharisees and Sadducees, of course, were behind it, and getting the Romans to do it for them. So the blood wouldn't be on their hands, so to speak, even though they already knew the blood was on their hands. Because Jesus had told them the blood was on their hands. And that they would be the ones to pay for it. That's why it just blows me away that all these modern day Christians can't see the truth. Because they don't do any research. They don't have an actual thirst and desire for the truth or for knowledge. And they prove it. Christianity is the most hypocritical path that a human can take. And they would deem that I'm the devil, that I'm the one that's, got it wrong, and that I'm the one that needs to have Jesus come into my life and save me, or I'll burn in hell forever because I didn't accept Jesus as God's son. Tell me how ridiculous that sounds, because to me it doesn't make any sense. I mean, why somebody would want to believe in something like that is just, wow. And I did believe in that for a long time. I don't believe that way anymore. Anyways, that's just a little bit of my thoughts and everything that's going on right now with what I see. Everybody's saying, the Christians are saying that Trump's the Antichrist, and he could very well be, in their scheme of things, in their head, but it doesn't make it true. And see, here's the thing. People always are searching for an enemy outside of themselves. But the truth of the matter is, and these are facts, the enemy, your worst enemy is your own self. There isn't some devil outside of you tempting you to do anything. It's all in here. Everything is in here. And everything that's out here is a projection of what's in here. I have a lot of videos on this subject matter, not necessarily made by me, myself, personally, but I have a playlist called Revival of Wisdom. Very good place to start. I have some other playlists that, I've got a variety of playlists. So check them out. Check them out if you're interested in any of the information that I've accumulated and collected since basically 2009 are in majority of those playlists. Take one more rip. Before I dip. Peace, love, hugs, nugs. Until the next time, I'm out of here.